So this is the creative strategy of an ecom brand that does 250,000 a month. And yes, 250,000 a month, just to show you if you're new here, because a lot of people say inspect element. There's a lot of grifters in the space. Anyway, here's the last 90 days in my Shopify. We'll go last 30. Ta-da, 261. There you go. I don't know, last 365. Why not? 2.2 so far. We'll do over 3. You can see it's growing up. Woo, nice. Good stuff. So this is how we do our creative strategy. So when it comes to scaling your brand, this is where the magic happens. Like, this is important. This is how you actually create ads that convert, right? This is how we add fuel to the fire. Fire being our Facebook ads, TikTok ads, whatever it may be. It all comes down to having good creative strategy. So once you have a good product with a good business model that will actually allow you to scale easier, the focus then has to become on creative strategy and creating ads that can scale. And this is the overview of the strategy we follow to do over 250,000 every single month, like you've seen there. So there's a few phases, right? It's research, it's scripting and briefs, it's sourcing content and editing, and retrospective. And each of these itself could really be like a nice hour-long lesson, to be honest. But this is an overview and we'll point you in the right direction, give you kind of steps you need in each of these. And when you put all this together, this is actually how you create these ads that can go spend, 6 figures in ad spend and produce millions in revenue. We've had ads now that have been running for like 2-3 years, hundreds, 200,000 in spend. And it's because of this. Now you have to realize it all comes down to research. None of this shit here, not even just this, like none of your Facebook ads, none of your ads, how you run your ads, who you target, your budget will matter unless the research is right. This is the key. And this is fucking boring, which is why you don't see people talk about it online. And it's also why they're not doing multiple millions per year consistently. Once again, you can tell there's a lot of people online who get lucky, scale a store, then they go on YouTube, they say, oh my God, look, 3 million case study, great. But have they ever done it again? Have they done it consistently? Because I currently do this for a living. I scale my brand. This is what I do. We do over 3 million per year. Now, I'm not saying these are the craziest numbers. By all means, it's not. There's people doing 3 million a fucking day, right? It's not crazy numbers. Point is, we're growing though. Like, we've grown consistently 50% to 100% every single year. We're going into year 3. Last year we did 1.5. This year we're doing 3. Actually, we're more on track to do more like 3 to 5 million this year. There's no doubt in my mind by the end of the year, we'll be on track to do 10 the next year. The growth is fast, and more importantly, it's consistent. Okay? So you have to ask yourself, why are people not talking about this? Because it's boring, but this stuff works, and this is what actually is going to get you to scale. So take the time to sit down and watch this video, because I promise it will actually help you scale. This is what I do day in, day out. This is what I train my team on. This is what my creative strategist does day in, day out. And when first starting out, I had to do this. I had to do this myself until I was able to hire and actually build out a team, right? And if you actually talk to anybody who's consistently doing numbers, who currently does this for a living, they'll tell you the same thing as well. It all comes down to research. So, there's something going on outside. I hope you don't hear that. Anyways, this is the most important part, and this needs to be done weekly at the bare minimum. We need to understand the target audience better than they know themselves. And this is what makes our ads resonate with the target audience and get them to take action. So this is how I like to do my research. You can see I start with a few different parts here. Now, first, and my favorite, is review mining. So with review mining, we're essentially collecting a bunch of reviews from all over the place, from our ad comments or competitors' ad comments, if you're just launching, Amazon reviews, website reviews, competitor reviews. And once again, if you haven't launched yet and you're launching a new product, we'll just look at the reviews for your competitors. Look at Amazon competitors, look at their website reviews, look at their ad comments, same thing, right? But we're trying to get the reviews across all of these different platforms. And essentially what we do is we compile them. We put them all together and we sort by number of references. And we sort them by the benefits, the wants and desires we find, and the objections. And these are all found within the reviews, right? Because you'll find reviews that are like, okay, I bought this because of this. It did this for me. I loved it. Thank you so much. Right? There's a lot of golden nuggets in these reviews, and this is where we find the majority of the angles and concepts and ideas we actually want to test in the ads. Right? Because in these reviews, you find the benefits, you find the wants and desires, and you find the objections. And what we do is we actually sort them and rank them in terms of number of references. Now, you can collect all the reviews, give it to ChatGPT, and ask it to do it for you, or you can do it by yourself. Either way, just get it done. So, for example, for a dog bed, for the benefits, you may find a lot of the reviews talk about durable, it stays clean, easily washable, looks good. Where the wants and desires in the review reduces my dog's anxiety, looking for my bed my dog actually likes, dog bed that looks good in the house. Or objections, will my dog like it? Is it easy to clean and wash? Does it work for large dogs? right? And the reason why we rank them by number of references is because this becomes our order of priority. So when we're crafting our ads and we're putting benefits in the ads, well, we know for sure we want to stay durable. And we want to test this one first, and this one first, right? Like we could come to looks good after. Like we have now an order of priority from most reference to least reference that we could use in our ads for each of these. That becomes your ad. And the best part is we're not taking guesses here. Like this is information coming directly from the target audience. You could not get better insight into the wants and desires to use, the benefits and features to say, and the objections you need to handle than from the customers themselves, right? So this is why this information is so powerful, and why if you use this information to then craft your ads, which we'll get into in the next steps, you actually create ads that scale. But it all comes down to the research part. So we rank them in order of priority, or in number of references, and that becomes our order of priority, right? Wants and desires become the main big ideas, desires, and angles we will actually test in the ads first. And once again, when you go through these, this is just an example. You could have 10, you could have 20 different wants and desires that you find. Point is, rank them in number of references. Then we have internet research. So pretty much Reddit, Google, blogs, YouTube, etc. We're just going across the entire internet, finding everything we can about our target audience, their wants, needs, desires, fears, etc. Any past experience they've had with alternative products, why they decided to buy it, did it work, did it not work, were they happy, situations that happened to them that made them want to buy, was there some sort of trigger that happened to them that made them want to buy? For example, for the dog bed, it could be something like, I don't know, my dog ripped her old bed. And if you see that's common, it's a lot of like dogs ruining their bed. Maybe that was the trigger. So then in your ads, a hook could be, my dog ripped up my dog bed and I needed to get him a new one, right? And you wouldn't think of putting that as a hook if you didn't do your research and know that that was a common trigger for a lot of people who bought the dog bed, right? So we're pretty much trying to learn everything here. We're researching, we're Googling, we're finding their wants, needs, desires, fears, things they like, things they hate, etc. We're trying to know them better than they know themselves. Then competitor research. So we're looking at their ads more specifically, and we're trying to look at, what angles are they currently using? What formats are they using? What kind of messaging are they using? Are there any common trends between their longest running ads? So we're trying to identify what is working best for our competitors. We want to reverse engineer their longest running ads, because that's what we know has worked the longest, or else why would it be on? And see what they're like, what angle it's using, what ad format, and what kind of creators they're using, etc. We're trying to find common trends between them, right? What messaging are they using? What desires are they targeting in their messaging? What kind of B-roll and clips are they using? What's the editing style like? Do they have a lot of different creators or one different creator? Not only are we trying to figure out what's working, because then we could replicate that and use that for our own, but we're also trying to find opportunities that they're not doing well so we can improve, right? And that becomes a competitive advantage. And so the easiest first launch to do will always be remaking and replicating your competitors' ads, right? If it's working for them, there's no reason why it won't work for you. And so when you're first launching, figure out what's working for them, replicate it, make it your own. That's the first thing to do. And that will only get you so far though. Then you need to be scripting and working on your own ads and looking for those opportunities to improve on what they're doing. And that's how you're really going to scale. Okay. So after you do all this research, and I usually stick to these three, but pretty much you just find research everywhere. The reviews is like the juicy stuff though. Like spend a lot of time here, right? Now, after you do all of this, we combine all this research. We should now have a clear picture of who our avatar is, what's working for our competitors, different ideas for angles and concepts to test. And now we know what angles to test, benefits to use, and objections to address in our ads, ranked in order of priority due to research, right? Because once you fill this out from the reviews, you'll also find these things through the internet research and through the competitor research. And then you could add them to the rankings, right? So now you know the exact benefits to use, objections to use, wants and desires to target in the ads when it comes to scripting, and in order of priority, directly from your customers, right? This is why it's important. This is what actually gets ads that scale. It's the boring stuff that actually gives you the results. So spend the time to do this and do it a lot and be refreshed on it, okay? So after the research, we then move on to scripting and briefs. So most people overthink this part. Don't. You don't have to overcomplicate it, right? If you did the research part right, then you should, at this point, know exactly how to write your ads with what kind of messaging and know how your competitors do it. Replicate and improve on it. So we want to use proven script frameworks, have clear messaging, write conversationally, and have a great hook. So use proven script frameworks. So the script should take them from one awareness level down to the other and entice them to take action. Once again, you have like unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware. Then I think it's like most aware and aware, or aware than most aware. I think it's aware than most aware. Anyways, point is your ad needs to decide to be on what awareness level are we targeting, and then it brings them from that awareness level down to aware to buy, right? And we do this by using some proven script structures that do that for us. So all we have to do is kind of fill in the kind of blocks. So here's an example of 3 I decided to show you. So structure 1, hook, showcase about alternative, educate, intro product, special details and USP about your product, benefits, results, CTA. And you can see here, right, we hook them in, we show them about alternative, we educate them on the bad alternative and why there's a better option that exists. We introduce our product as the solution, USPs, benefits, results, CTA. So you can see we bring them down level of awareness. Same thing with structure 3 here. Hook, introduce problem, twist the knife, really make that problem painful, hit the emotional pain points, which once again, you only know if you did your research. It all comes back down to this. These things do not matter. I repeat, these things do not matter at all. If you did not do the research, I can't stress this enough because I tell people to do this all the time and they don't because they're lazy and then they complain that they don't scale. Don't be that. I want you to scale. You can do millions per year. Get good at the research, okay? So that's that. Now, the third one is hook, educate them, polarize, product intro, benefit 1, benefit 2, results / social proof, and CTA. And each of these scripts, even though they're different and they have different blocks, they all achieve the same thing. You hook them in, and we bring them to the stage of awareness to get them to buy. Okay? And you use these by using these. Feel free to take these, like use these. But once again, I could give you all of them. It doesn't really matter if the research isn't there because you have to understand what pain points to hit on, etc. from the research. Now, you want to have also clear messaging. So your script should be simple and clear and follow one concept / big idea or angle throughout. If you were talking to everyone, you are talking to no one. So you want to write down a first draft of your script using some of these structures and then go over it 2 to 3, 4 times to improve it, improve the readability, make sure it flows well, and improve the different parts of the script based on your research, right? You're not just going to write it and it's going to be done. I mean, nobody does that. The best people I know who write ads, myself too, I'm not very creative. It takes me a few tries. Write down a few scripts, get the creative juices flowing, then go back, reread it, improve it, etc. Okay? And the messaging needs to be clear. It should be simple. Like don't make it sound like a crazy info product. Like it should be super clear and a simple script. Conversational, like you're talking to a friend, with direct response elements throughout. The direct response part is very important. Now, you also want to write conversationally, which goes into the kind of the same thing I was saying here about having clear messaging. So your ad should be and sound conversational. It should look and feel authentic. We want to be clear and relatable so we can resonate with our target audience and so they see themselves and their problems in the ad. That's why we want to do it. To do this, we need to talk like them, look like them, and talk about their problems and desires. So the visuals need to look like them. The visuals need to showcase what they currently go through. It needs to clearly demonstrate it. The wording we use needs to be conversational, as if we're talking to them. They need to relate to it, right? So write conversationally. Don't overcomplicate this. Write conversationally. Dumb it down. Now, next is you need a great hook. So your ad should be and sound conversational. It should look and feel authentic. Oh, I don't know why this is just a dupe here. Anyways, point is with a great hook, what you want is to, one, have a clear visual. It needs to clearly call out something that will stop that user from scrolling. And the text itself, the headline on the photo or the big text alongside this B-roll in the hook needs to clearly call out your target audience, right? And more importantly, it also needs to filter out the people we don't want watching it, right? So an example, if you're selling a dog product, once again, an easy example, dog parents or dogs everywhere are going crazy over this. If you're a dog owner, you'll stop that. Dog owners will watch that. It's a pretty broad hook too, which is pretty cool if you're going for that kind of broad angle. Now, the hook's important because without the hook, people don't watch the rest of the ad. You need to hook people in. And it's a pair of a good visual and proper messaging and clear messaging. And the clearer the messaging, the ad platform like TikTok, Facebook, whatever, will have an easier time finding those people for you to then go watch the ad. And you'll have higher quality traffic the clearer the hook is. So it needs to be clear, but it also needs to get them to stop scrolling and watch the ad. Okay? So that is scripting in briefs. Take some of these script structures, follow these guidelines, write some out, and improve it. Once again, all based off of this research, which is the most important part. Now, sourcing content and editing. Creators and editing. So creators, this is the way I do it currently with my brand. We have find 3 to 5 UGC creators to test them, give them an ad brief, give them a script to make, see how they do. The ones that are good, onboard them, and continue testing until you have 3+ creators onboarded who are good. When I say onboarded, what we do is we onboard them to our Notion where we have all of our briefs and all of our structures there. That way we can just tag them on a brief. Quick tag brief, cool, they got pinged, and now they know to make it. And if one stops performing, they don't perform in the ads, kick them out and onboard another. The point is you want 3 to 5 at least in the roster. And if you're doing more scale, you obviously need more. But starting out, you can even just do 1 or 2. Point is you want good creators with the product in hand, so you don't have to wait to send them the product again and again and again to all these new creators. And so that way you can continue using them and get fast turnaround times for the content. Because you have 3 to 5 creators, if you have a new brief to make, you give it to them, 2 days later, content, boom, done. Right? If they stop performing, kick them out, add a new one in. Pretty straightforward and simple there. Now, editing. We want to edit our ads to look and feel like the organic content they consume on their free time. Your ad should not look or feel like an ad. It should build trust with your audience by looking like the content they already watch. People buy, that was a crazy voice crack. Anyways, Jesus, people buy from people they trust and people they know, right? So your ad should not look and be edited to follow the style of other ads. If they look like ads, you need to look at the organic content that works. Like go look on YouTube, look on TikTok, the organic content that target audience watches on their free time, make it look like that. That's what they trust. That's what they're used to, right? So don't copy the style of other ads, copy the style of the organic ads. Then last but not least is retrospective, which comes down to your analyzing the results and iterating on your ad. So 98% of the time, your ad just fucking sucks and you aren't testing enough, straight up, right? You've probably heard me say this before if you've seen one of my videos. And the fact of it is, you heard on the last video, you're probably still not testing enough. I don't know if you're ever testing enough, to be honest. And if your ad doesn't work, your ad just fucking sucks. Straight up. Now, rewrite different hooks, try different B-roll, use different USPs, try different script structures, test messaging to different desires, test different angles, test different avatars, test different formats, etc. The iterations and different testing you can do here is literally endless, right? Like there's so many different things you can try. Now, what is important is always backed by research and a deep understanding of your audience, right? The testing doesn't matter unless it's backed by the research and you're using this data here and the research you're doing and you're always on top of it and you know them insanely well and you talk like them and you write your ads like them, etc. And when you write your ads, you need a clear picture of who you're writing to and the B-roll needs to match that stuff, etc. So I can't stress that enough, right? Creating ads that scale. That we have ads that's like right now, for example, $250K a month. Majority of our ad spend is going to 3 ads. 3 ads that have been running for over a year now. And they all have like 6 figures plus spend on individual ads. And we do that because they are all based by the research. And if you saw them, you'd be like, wow, these are insanely simple and easy to make. And the answer is yes, they are pretty fucking simple, pretty brain dead ads. But they have direct response marketing elements and they're backed by research. Okay. So hopefully this was useful. This is the overview of how we do it. If you want more stuff like this, if you want to see the entire system of how we scale brands, we help brands who are doing over 15,000 a month scale to millions per year. We have hundreds of testimonials and case studies at this point. If you want to see how we actually scale the brands for free, I'll link the video in the description below so you can learn more there. If not, completely fine. But either way, go do your research and create some ads that can scale, and I'll see you in the next one.